Welcome everybody to another LFG training call. Today we're going to be talking through service, rates, and products. The goals of this content here is to give you somewhat of an elevator pitch. How can we simplify a sales pitch down to if you only had, 5 minutes? What kind of content should you fill with that sort of 5-minute quick pitch? We also can give you some conversation starters. Again, we're talking through the service and the rates and the products that we offer here at VisiPay, create a platform to sell, and simplify the thought process. So when we think of services, I want you to really be able to connect the dots. What are the values that we can provide at VisiPay and you can provide as an agent out there in the field? So first off, you are a business owner yourself. You're a 1099 contract employee, which means you're in control of your own destiny, just like these merchants. That's common ground, right? That's you understanding, hey, I would want you to do what's best for me, and I'm going to want to do what's best for you too. On top of, you can really localize yourself. And that ties into the communication, right? You are local. You are in the community. You're a 5-10 minute a call away. If somebody needs to stop in and help a merchant, you can be that person. When we think about VisiPay, and you can see the reviews on the right side there, we have great reviews and we have great communication ability. We have 30-second or less hold times when it comes to merchants getting a hold of us for any sort of needs that they have, right? And then lastly, we can think about our full disclosure and transparency, all the way from you guys being out in the field, giving them honest answers, honest pricing, explaining the process, educating the merchants, as well as all the way to our website where they can see what our pricing is on our website. They can see the technology, the costs of that technology. Everything is presented to them right forth and foremost. So then there's no questions and no concerns on the back end of what they're getting into. When we think about rates, I want us to think about just how much we can save our merchants, all the way from our cash discount program, saving them up to 100% on their processing fees, the hybrid program sitting right in the middle there, and then the traditional program still cutting into hopefully as much as 10%. We've seen even more than that when it comes to their fees, because again, very transparent rates, very honest rates. A lot of our rates are pass-through rates. The cost of our technology is that retail price. We do have caps on any sort of equipment as well. So when it comes down to our rates, we think of our pricing, we think of how much we're charging the merchants for any sort of service or product. And then products, lastly, VisiPay offers products for all industry and all types of businesses, all the way from mobile to full POS and even e-commerce. We want to be able to support any type of business on all levels. On top of that, the technology and the programs that are inside of that equipment, that product, is all going to be built around small businesses. We know that they want robust solutions, but they don't want to pay that hefty price, and they don't want it to have all these bells and whistles that are going to confuse them. They need the robust systems that can handle the current times of accepting payments, but they also need it to be simple enough that they can still run their business. They don't have to be confusing. They don't have to call support every time that they have a question, right? So we understand a lot of merchants are getting by with yesterday's technology. So why can't we get them ahead of the game, in front of it, get them on par with what's happening right now, again, without confusing their process? We also understand from a product standpoint that a lot of equipment is being leased. So we do not do leases at VisiPay. Our goal is to either allow them to purchase the equipment outright at a retail price, or have them be placed with the equipment at no upfront cost and sign into any sort of agreements with us, so they're not having to pay a month-to-month lease style, but rather just agree that they're going to process with us for a certain amount of time, and they won't have to pay for that equipment for however long they're processing with us. And so when we think about service rates and products, like we talked about, it's going to focus your talking points so you don't feel lost in your sales pitch. It's going to organize that sales pitch and guide the conversation, so it goes through the whole sales process. You can do, qualification. You can actually dive into the pitch. Any sort of layer of a sales pitch needs that organization. And then lastly, it's going to build closing conversation with the merchant, because your goal is to go through all of the necessary items, services, and rates and products, all the necessary things that a merchant needs to understand and know in order to decide if they want to process with us. So again, this goal, when we think about service, rates, and products, is to not only just organize your full sales pitch, but even give you the opportunity to create a sales pitch that is small, short, when you have limited amount of time. Create that conversation starter as you can dive into all of the quality and ask those discovery questions to the merchant. Create a platform to sell, and then again, simplify the thought process so you don't feel like you're all over the board with all of the things that we offer and all the things that we do, but rather focus on the pain points and on the necessary things that a merchant's going to need. And that, you guys, wraps up service rates and products. Again, we're going to have a lot more sales strategy training, especially in the week 2 training. So keep an eye out for more of those. Thanks, guys.